My child, listen carefully. This is not a coincidence. This is not a random moment. There is a reason these words have found you today. There is a reason your spirit has been restless. There is a reason you have felt something shifting beneath the surface of your life. What you have been sensing is real. What you have been feeling is not your imagination. Because today, I am confirming something your heart has been hoping for through every battle, every delay, every tear, and every prayer. My child, your victory has already been spoken in heaven. Before the obstacle appeared, I knew the outcome. Before the battle began, I knew the ending. Before the storm arrived, I had already prepared the shelter. Listen carefully. You have spent too much time looking at what is against you. You have spent too much time measuring the size of the mountain. You have spent too much time listening to fear. But today I need you to shift your focus. Stop looking at the obstacle. Look at the God who stands above it. Stop looking at the delay. Look at the purpose within it. Stop looking at the battle. Look at the strength it created inside you. My child, there were moments when you thought you were losing. Moments when you questioned whether your prayers were being heard. Moments when you wondered if the struggle would ever end. Moments when discouragement tried to convince you that nothing was changing. But what you could not see was that heaven was working while you were waiting. Doors were being aligned. Lessons were being completed. Protection was being provided. Preparation was taking place. And through it all, I was guiding every step. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal is important. The enemy wanted you to believe the battle was proof of defeat. But the battle was actually evidence of your growth. The enemy wanted you to believe the delay was proof of abandonment. But the delay was evidence of preparation. The enemy wanted you to believe your tears were wasted. But every tear watered seeds that are now beginning to grow. My child, victory does not begin on the day you see the breakthrough. Victory begins on the day you refuse to quit. Victory begins on the day you choose faith over fear. Victory begins on the day you decide to trust me despite uncertainty. And that is exactly what you have done. You kept going. You kept believing. You kept praying. You kept trusting. Even when answers seemed distant. Even when the road felt long. Even when your strength felt small. You stayed faithful. And heaven noticed. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The victory I am confirming is not merely about circumstances changing around you. It is also about what has changed within you. You are stronger now. You are wiser now. You are more resilient now. You are more prepared now. The person who entered the battle is not the same person standing here today. The struggle transformed you. The waiting refined you. The lessons matured you. And now you carry a strength that could only have been developed through experience. My child, there are things that once frightened you that no longer hold the same power. There are situations that once overwhelmed you that you can now face with confidence. There are challenges that once caused panic that now produce wisdom. That is growth. That is transformation. That is evidence that my hand has been upon your life. Listen carefully. There are still things you cannot see. There are still answers that have not yet been revealed. There are still pieces of the story unfolding. But do not mistake unfinished chapters for a defeated story. The story is still being written. The purpose is still unfolding. The breakthrough is still developing. And my promises are still standing. My child, I know you have carried questions. I know you have carried concerns. I know you have carried moments of doubt. But today I want you to release them. Release the fear. Release the worry. Release the belief that you have been forgotten. Because I am confirming something powerful. You are not fighting for victory. You are walking toward a victory that has already been prepared. You are not abandoned. You are guided. You are not overlooked. You are seen. You are not defeated. You are growing. And the season ahead will reveal just how much progress has been taking place behind the scenes. My child, one day soon you will look back and understand why certain doors closed. You will understand why some people left. You will understand why some opportunities disappeared. You will understand why some prayers took longer than expected. And when you see it clearly, gratitude will replace confusion. Peace will replace frustration. Confidence will replace fear. Because you will finally realize that I was working through every detail all along. So lift your head. Lift your eyes. Lift your faith. Do not let temporary circumstances speak louder than my promises. Do not let fear tell you a story that heaven has not written. Because I am confirming your victory today. Not because the battle never existed, but because the battle did not have the power to stop the purpose I placed upon your life. Keep moving forward, my child. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Because what is ahead is greater than what is behind. And the God who carried you through every storm is now leading you toward a season where the lessons, the growth, and the faithfulness of the journey will begin to reveal their reward. My child, now that I have confirmed your victory, there is something deeper I need you to understand. The reason the battle lasted longer than you expected was not because I had forgotten you. The reason the road became difficult was not because I abandoned you. The reason the answers seemed delayed was not because your prayers were ignored. What you experienced was preparation disguised as struggle. Listen carefully. Many people celebrate victory. Few people understand what victory costs. Few people understand the lessons that must be learned. Few people understand the strength that must be developed. Few people understand the faith that must be built. But you know. You know what it feels like to keep believing when there is no evidence. You know what it feels like to keep praying when answers seem silent. You know what it feels like to keep moving when your heart feels tired. And because you know those things, the victory ahead will mean more to you than it would have before. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal is important. There were moments when you thought the enemy was winning. There were moments when circumstances appeared stronger than your faith. There were moments when disappointment seemed to arrive faster than hope. But appearances are not always reality. What looked like defeat was often development. What looked like loss was often redirection. What looked like delay was often protection. My child, there were blessings you were not ready to carry. There were opportunities that arrived too early. There were situations that seemed attractive but would have distracted you from your purpose. That is why I intervened. That is why I redirected. That is why I asked you to trust me even when you did not understand. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The victory I am confirming today did not begin this week. It did not begin this month. It did not begin when circumstances started improving. It began the moment you chose not to quit. It began the moment you refused to surrender your faith. It began the moment you decided to keep walking despite uncertainty. Every step forward was a victory. Every prayer was a victory. Every act of trust was a victory. Every moment of perseverance was a victory. And those victories have been building upon each other for far longer than you realize. My child, heaven has seen things that you have forgotten. Heaven remembers the tears. Heaven remembers the sacrifices. Heaven remembers the lonely nights. Heaven remembers the prayers spoken when nobody else was listening. And I want you to know this. None of it was wasted. Not one lesson. Not one disappointment. Not one season. Not one tear. Everything has contributed to the person you are becoming. Can you feel the difference? You are not as fragile as you once were. You are not as fearful as you once were. You are not as easily discouraged as you once were. That is because the battle changed you. The waiting changed you. The journey changed you. And now you are standing stronger because of it. My child, there are still people who see only your current circumstances. But I see your future. There are still people who focus on your past mistakes. But I see your growth. There are still voices that try to remind you of what went wrong. But I am reminding you of what is being built. And what is being built is far greater than what was lost. Listen carefully. A shift is taking place. Not because of luck. Not because of coincidence. But because preparation has reached a new stage. The lessons are becoming wisdom. The wisdom is becoming confidence. The confidence is becoming action. And the action will help lead you into opportunities you once thought were impossible. My child, stop doubting what I have already spoken over your life. Stop allowing fear to rewrite the future I am preparing. Stop measuring your possibilities by your current situation. You serve a God who can create opportunities where there appear to be none. You serve a God who can open doors no one expected. You serve a God who can turn lessons into blessings and challenges into growth. That is why I am asking you to trust me now more than ever. The battle may have been long. The journey may have been difficult. The process may have tested you. But you are still here. And that matters. Because the people who receive the promise are often the ones who stayed faithful during the process. My child, your victory is not merely something that will happen. Your victory is already unfolding. With every lesson learned. With every fear overcome. With every step of faith taken. You are moving closer to the chapter one have been preparing. So stand tall. Keep believing. Keep trusting. And keep your eyes on me. Because the same God who carried you through the storm is now revealing why the storm could never stop the destiny I placed upon your life. My child, there is something I need you to hear in this moment. Now that I have confirmed your victory, you must not return to the mindset you had when the battle first began. You cannot keep seeing yourself as defeated when heaven has already declared that you are overcoming. You cannot keep speaking fear when I am teaching you faith. You cannot keep expecting failure when I am preparing you for growth. Listen carefully. The greatest battles are often won long before they become visible. A seed becomes a tree long before anyone sees the first branch. A sunrise begins before the first light reaches the horizon. And victory begins long before circumstances reveal it. That is why I have been asking you to trust me. Not because I wanted blind faith, but because I wanted you to learn how to walk with confidence even when you could not yet see the outcome. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal may change the way you see everything that happened. You thought you were waiting for a miracle. But part of the miracle was becoming the person capable of receiving it. You thought you were waiting for a breakthrough. But part of the breakthrough was the wisdom growing inside you. You thought you were waiting for change. But the greatest change was already taking place within your heart. My child, look at yourself honestly. You have survived things you once feared. You have endured seasons you once thought would destroy you. You have overcome challenges that seemed impossible when they first appeared. And yet, here you are. Still standing. Still believing. Still moving forward. That is not weakness. That is strength. That is proof that I have been working in your life. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The enemy wanted your focus to remain on the battle. I wanted your focus to remain on the lesson. The enemy wanted you to become discouraged. I wanted you to become stronger. The enemy wanted you to feel defeated. I wanted you to discover the power of perseverance. And because you continued trusting me, the lesson became stronger than the struggle. My child, there were moments when you felt alone, but you were never alone. There were moments when you felt forgotten, but you were never forgotten. There were moments when you questioned whether I was listening, but I heard every prayer. Every whisper. Every tear. Every cry from your heart. I heard them all. And while you were praying for a way forward, I was already preparing one. While you were asking for strength, I was building it. While you were asking for answers, I was arranging them. While you were asking for victory, I was preparing you to walk in it. My child, there is a reason the pressure increased before this season began to shift. Pressure often increases when transformation is near. Challenges often intensify when growth is accelerating. Doubts often become louder when faith is becoming stronger. Do not be surprised by that. Do not be discouraged by that. Instead, recognize it for what it is. A sign that you have come farther than you realize. A sign that growth has been taking place. A sign that the story is moving forward. Listen carefully. The chapter ahead will not be built on fear. It will be built on wisdom. It will not be built on doubt. It will be built on faith. It will not be built on desperation. It will be built on purpose. Because the lessons you learned during the struggle are becoming the foundation of the next season. Nothing was wasted. Not the waiting. Not the disappointment. Not the uncertainty. Not the tears. Everything taught you something. Everything strengthened you. Everything prepared you. My child, one day you will look back at this season and see what I saw all along. You will see how every challenge carried a lesson. You will see how every delay carried protection. You will see how every setback carried redirection. You will see how every difficult moment contributed to your growth. And when that day comes, you will stop asking why it happened. You will start thanking me for what it produced. Because what it produced is stronger faith, greater wisdom, deeper patience, clearer purpose, and a stronger version of you. So do not grow weary now. Do not allow fear to steal your confidence. Do not allow temporary circumstances to make you forget eternal truths. Lift your head. Strengthen your heart. Trust my timing. Trust my guidance. Trust the growth that has taken place within you. Because your victory is not just a future event. It is a reality that has been unfolding through every lesson, every act of faith, and every step forward you have taken. And soon, my child, you will begin to see with your own eyes why I kept telling you to hold on, why I kept telling you to trust me, and why I never allowed the battle to have the final word. My child, as you continue listening, I need you to understand something that heaven has been trying to show you for a long time. The reason I am confirming your victory is not because the journey is over. It is because you have already become the person who can walk into the next chapter with faith instead of fear. The battle changed you. The waiting refined you. The struggle strengthened you. And now you are standing at the edge of a season that will reveal why none of it was in vain. Listen carefully. For so long, you have been asking me for signs. You have been asking me for confirmation. You have been asking me whether you are still on the right path. And today my answer is simple. Yes, my child. You are still on the path. You are still being guided. You are still being protected. You are still being prepared. Even when you could not feel it. Even when you could not see it. Even when you questioned it. I was there. Stay with me. Because what I am about to reveal is important. There were moments when you looked at your situation and assumed nothing was changing. You looked at the same problems. The same delays. The same unanswered questions. And because the circumstances looked familiar, you assumed the story was standing still. But my child, growth does not always announce itself. Preparation does not always make noise. Transformation often happens quietly. Just because you could not see movement does not mean movement was absent. Just because you could not see progress does not mean progress was not happening. Just because you could not see the answer does not mean the answer was not developing. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The victory I am confirming is not based on what you currently see. It is based on what has already been built within you. The strength. The wisdom. The patience. The faith. The courage. These things matter more than you realize. Because they are the tools that will help you navigate every opportunity, every challenge, and every blessing that lies ahead. My child, many people spend their lives waiting for their circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel hopeful. But hope is not created by circumstances. Hope is created by trust. Trust that I am still working. Trust that I am still guiding. Trust that my plans have not changed simply because the road became difficult. And I need you to trust me now. More than yesterday. More than last month. More than ever before. Because the chapter ahead requires confidence. Not confidence in yourself alone. Confidence in me. Confidence that I know the way. Confidence that I see what you cannot see. Confidence that I am able to guide you through every unknown. My child, there are blessings ahead that will arrive in unexpected ways. There are opportunities that will not look exactly the way you imagined. There are moments that will challenge you to step forward with faith instead of certainty. When those moments come, remember what you learned during the battle. Remember the patience. Remember the wisdom. Remember the endurance. Remember the trust. Because those lessons were not temporary. They were preparation. The enemy wanted the struggle to make you bitter. Instead, it made you stronger. The enemy wanted the delay to make you quit. Instead, it taught you perseverance. The enemy wanted the uncertainty to weaken your faith. Instead, it deepened your trust. And because of that, the very things that were meant to stop you have become part of what prepared you. My child, one day you will tell this story differently. You will not focus on the pain. You will focus on the growth. You will not focus on the delay. You will focus on the lessons. You will not focus on what went wrong. You will focus on what was built. And when you tell that story, you will realize something beautiful. You were never fighting alone. You were never carrying the burden by yourself. You were never forgotten. I was there in every chapter. I was there in every prayer. I was there in every tear. I was there in every victory that looked small at the time but became significant later. So lift your head, my child. Do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let doubt become stronger than trust. Do not allow temporary struggles to make you forget eternal truths. You have come too far to return to fear. You have learned too much to return to doubt. You have grown too much to return to the person you used to be. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting. Keep believing. Because heaven's confirmation has not changed. Your growth is real. Your purpose is real. Your future is still unfolding. And the victory I promised is drawing closer with every faithful step you take. The story is not finished yet, my child. But what comes next will begin revealing why I never stopped telling you to trust me. My child, if you have stayed with me this far, then listen even more carefully now. What I am about to reveal is not merely about the victory itself. It is about why the victory had to take this path. It is about why the journey was longer than expected. It is about why certain doors remained closed while others disappeared completely. It is about why you were asked to keep trusting when every visible sign seemed to tell you otherwise. My child, there were battles you never saw. There were dangers you never knew existed. There were setbacks I prevented before they ever reached you. While you were focused on the struggle in front of you, I was handling things behind the scenes that you could not see. Listen carefully. You often asked, "Why is this taking so long?" But the better question was, "What is God protecting me from?" You often asked, "Why hasn't this happened yet?" But heaven was asking, "Are you becoming ready for what is coming?" You often focused on the delay. I focused on the destination. You focused on the waiting. I focused on the preparation. And now, little by little, you are beginning to understand why I never rushed the process. Stay with me. Because this truth is important. The victory I confirmed was never only about reaching a goal. It was about transforming your spirit. It was about teaching you how to trust me when circumstances made no sense. It was about teaching you how to stand when others would have walked away. It was about teaching you how to believe even when evidence was scarce. Those lessons are priceless. No one can take them from you. No circumstance can erase them. No setback can undo them. Because they are now part of who you are. My child, there were times when you thought your faith was weak. But you kept praying. There were times when you thought your hope was fading. But you kept believing. There were times when you thought your strength was gone. But you kept moving forward. And every time you took one more step, even when it felt difficult, heaven recorded it. Every act of faith mattered. Every decision to trust mattered. Every moment of perseverance mattered. Nothing was wasted. Listen carefully because this changes everything. The person who once begged for relief has become someone capable of carrying responsibility. The person who once doubted every step has become someone capable of walking by faith. The person who once feared the unknown has become someone capable of facing it with courage. That is growth. That is transformation. That is the hidden victory that happened long before any visible breakthrough appeared. My child, I know there are still moments when uncertainty tries to return. There are still questions that remain unanswered. There are still areas of your life where clarity has not fully arrived. But do not mistake unanswered questions for a lack of progress. Do not mistake temporary uncertainty for permanent confusion. Do not mistake a quiet season for an inactive God. I am still working. I am still guiding. I am still arranging. I am still preparing. And my plans for your life have not changed. My child, there are opportunities ahead that will require the wisdom you gained during this season. There are relationships ahead that will benefit from the maturity you developed during this season. There are decisions ahead that will require the discernment you learned during this season. That is why every lesson mattered. That is why every challenge mattered. That is why every moment of growth mattered. Because one day soon, you will find yourself standing in a situation where you realize something powerful. The battle prepared you for this. The waiting prepared you for this. The growth prepared you for this. And suddenly, everything that once seemed confusing will begin to make sense. My child, stop measuring your future by your past disappointments. Stop allowing old fears to predict tomorrow's outcomes. Stop giving yesterday's struggles authority over today's faith. You are not the same person anymore. You have grown. You have learned. You have changed. And because of that, you are ready for things that once would have overwhelmed you. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward with expectation. Not because every answer has arrived. Not because every challenge has disappeared. But because you know who walks beside you. You know who carried you through every storm. You know who strengthened you through every battle. You know who guided you through every difficult season. And that same God is still leading you today. My child, hold tightly to this truth. The victory was never slipping away. The promise was never forgotten. The purpose was never cancelled. Everything has been moving according to a plan greater than your understanding. And as the next chapter begins to unfold, you will start to see why heaven kept telling you to hold on just a little longer. Because the story is moving toward something beautiful. The story is moving toward something meaningful. And the story is moving toward a future where your faithfulness, your growth, and your trust will reveal why this journey was worth every step. My child, as this message comes to its final chapter, I want you to quiet every fear, silence every doubt, and open your heart to these last words. You have listened this far for a reason. You have stayed because something deep inside you needed confirmation. And now, before this message ends, I want you to hear the truth that heaven has been speaking over your life all along. You made it. You survived what was meant to break you. You overcame what was meant to stop you. You grew through what was meant to discourage you. And because you kept moving forward, you are standing in a place today that once seemed impossible to reach. Listen carefully. The victory was never just about receiving something. The victory was becoming someone. Someone stronger. Someone wiser. Someone more faithful. Someone who learned how to trust me even when the path was unclear. My child, when you look back on this season, you will not remember only the pain. You will remember the growth. You will remember how every challenge taught you something valuable. You will remember how every delay built patience. You will remember how every obstacle revealed strength you never knew you possessed. And most importantly, you will remember that I never left your side. Not once. Not for a single moment. Even when you felt alone. Even when you felt forgotten. Even when you wondered if I was listening. I was there. Guiding. Protecting. Strengthening. Preparing. Working behind the scenes in ways your eyes could not yet see. My child, there are beautiful days ahead of you. Days filled with peace where there was once anxiety. Days filled with clarity where there was once confusion. Days filled with gratitude where there was once frustration. The answers may not arrive all at once. The blessings may not appear exactly how you imagined. But they will come at the right time and in the right way. Because my timing has always been connected to your purpose. Listen carefully because this is the truth that changes everything. What is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. The lessons are behind you. The growth remains with you. The storms are behind you. The strength remains with you. The waiting is behind you. The wisdom remains with you. Nothing you learned will be wasted. Nothing you endured was meaningless. Nothing you survived was without purpose. Every step prepared you for this moment. My child, stop carrying yesterday into tomorrow. Stop replaying old disappointments. Stop expecting old battles to return every time you take a new step. This is a new chapter. A chapter of faith. A chapter of growth. A chapter of purpose. A chapter where you walk forward with confidence because you now know that I have carried you through things you once thought would destroy you. And if I carried you through those seasons, I will carry you through every season still to come. So lift your head. Lift your eyes. Lift your faith. Do not be afraid of the future. The future is not your enemy. The future is a place where your lessons will become wisdom, your struggles will become testimonies, and your growth will become proof of my faithfulness. One day soon, you will look around and realize that the things you prayed for were arriving one step at a time. You will realize that the doors I closed protected you. You will realize that the delays prepared you. You will realize that the waiting strengthened you. And you will smile, not because the journey was easy, but because you finally understand why it was necessary. My child, this is not the end of your story. This is the end of a season. And the beginning of something beautiful. Walk forward with peace in your heart. Walk forward with confidence in your spirit. Walk forward knowing that you are loved, guided, protected, and never alone. For I have already gone before you. I am already in your tomorrow. And the same God who brought you through every storm is now leading you into a season where hope grows stronger, faith becomes deeper, and purpose shines brighter than ever before. Your victory has been confirmed. Your growth has been completed. Your new chapter has begun. And the best part of your story is still being written. Go forward, my child. The future is waiting. And it is filled with hope.